Aloha friends, Dr. Summer Nicole here. I wanted to hop on and share a condensed version of my journey that has led me from self-abandonment to self-love and empowerment, and led me into creating what I've created, which is called the Somatic Reparenting Method. So I've been in the healing and therapy world for over 20 years, starting out in physical therapy and yoga. And after a few years after PT school, I started studying the nervous system through craniosacral therapy and somato-emotional release. And I was always one that was into a lot of movement of my body, which for sure has been something that has helped me regulate my nervous system over the years before I started getting into deeper trauma healing. And it was really in my long-term relationships where I started to feel this sense of confusion and depletion, and honestly just this sense of like emotional immaturity. And as I reflect on, my last two marriages that ended in divorce, I can see how all of the ways I used to abandon myself. So all of the ways in which I said yes when I really meant no, all of the ways I would just bulldoze over my own needs and my own desires, trying to fix or solve, their issues or problems while ignoring my own, and really ultimately ignoring my intuition and my body, what my body was trying to tell me, and ignoring all of the red flags that were waving right in front of me. And, it was in this process of going through my second divorce when I started to notice just how young I felt in my grieving. And I started to notice and get in touch with this little girl inside of me that was full of this unprocessed anger and confusion. And she had so many questions, and she was so sad, and I realized how much of this wounded little girl was acting out in these relationships, trying to get the partner to meet her unmet needs. She didn't trust the masculine at all. She was seeking reassurance from the partner. And now looking back and knowing what I know now about the nervous system, I can just see how I was just absolutely bulldozing over what my body was trying to tell me, and my intuition as well. And so my body was detecting threat. My nervous system was detecting threat often. And so it was sending my system, because I was ignoring it, I was ignoring the anxiety. So I was sending my system into a freeze response over and over again, because my nervous system was just overwhelmed. And I was not identifying or understanding what my little girl was really needing. What she really needed was acknowledgement and reassurance. And when we don't know what the need is, we can't express it. It's a big part of the work I help people with now. And so in my case, my body and my nervous system really ended up in this state of recovery when it was all said and done. And trust me, that process of recovering the nervous system is much slower than you think it's going to be. And it's real, it is real whenever you're in deep recovery mode. And, I can see now how all of the pain had such a divine purpose. And I'm someone who's just life experience and personal, trauma has led me to navigating really intense emotions. And so I now have the capacity to hold others through that same experience of, taking them through transmuting the repressed emotions that are built up in the body, and healing the inner child and healing the nervous system has led me out of those deep-seated patterns of self-abandonment to more of an embodied sense of my own power, having a felt sense of what my needs and my boundaries are. And because I now know what they are, I can speak them clearly. I can express myself clearly. So it's connecting power to throat. And knowing exactly, when I'm upset or triggered, exactly what younger parts need tending to, and know exactly how to hold and integrate those younger parts that may be like emotionally frozen in time. I know how to retrieve and integrate those parts into my present day woman. And so that in my relationships, my come from is from this, integrated, regulated, healthy woman versus this reactive, wounded little girl, and knowing how to create safety and security within myself. And I just have a fire under my ass to share this work with as many women and men as possible, because it's will relieve a lot of unnecessary suffering. And what I use to teach my clients, and take my clients through, I use personally in my own healing process because it works. And it's something that I still use whenever I need it. And I get really excited to, I'm following my excitement as my work and my practice has developed. I get really excited to teach teachers, and offering a free workshop called the Intro to the Somatic Reparenting Method tomorrow, July 27th at 12 p.m. Pacific. It's for practitioners, wellness practitioners, coaches, mentors, healthcare professionals, therapists, body workers, anyone really who is interested in a process, learning a process that supports deep emotional healing, taking people from those patterns of self-abandonment to empowerment. And really it's a process of the client having self-realization using and through the intelligence of the body. And so it's a dialogue process really that looks like a guided meditation in a group setting, but also is meant to take one-on-one clients into their process even deeper. And so it's designed to support those who understand that trauma lives in the body, and they know that unfusing from that wounded inner child is absolutely required to have healthy adult relationships and a more regulated nervous system, and to heal attachment wounds. It's for light workers that are wanting to expand their healing skills for more depth, more value, more transformational results in their practice. And the results will look like an enhanced sense of well-being, empowerment, embodiment, self-love, tuning someone more to the frequency of self-love and empowerment. That unfusing process will happen, like learning how to take people through that unfusing from their inner child process, helping them gently unravel insecure attachment and codependent patterns, and teaching them how to retrieve and integrate those younger parts into their present day self. And because trauma is a disconnection, Peter Levine describes trauma as a disconnection from the body, the self, and others. This helps to improve the relationship to the body, the self, and others. And it can also help relieve physical symptoms, because all of the concepts of nervous system regulation, somatic therapy are woven into the somatic reparenting method. So it can relieve physical symptoms such as pain or tension. And so if this resonates for you, sparks your interest, I'd love to have you join. It's a free workshop happening tomorrow. The link is going to be in my Instagram bio. And I'm just really, from my heart to yours, have a deep desire to spread this work as far and wide as possible. So if it resonates and if it feels interesting to you, would love to see you tomorrow. And please DM me with any questions you might have. Aloha.